Yo. Another day. Reading another Wilder book, Nocturnal. This one's a little bit different. It has a little bit more of a dark side, basically. To put it in simple terms, there's a lot of hurt and marks and want rather than maybe compliment or some kind of blessing, which I feel like is what the other two books sort of had a better character of. And I feel like if I was to sort of classify all of these books, though, it's sort of like why. It's like, why do any of us do anything? And I feel like these books try to give a reason for any action. And as much as there's reason, there's acceptance. Because if you lean in towards love, then love is more of an acceptance kind of thing. So the only reason for any sort of action at all is for acceptance, which you can sort of twist in your mind as being something like reality only works to prove that things are real, with a much more sentiment towards human behavior. You could say humans really only exist so that they may gain respect. But on a much more ethereal note, again, it's, to me, that idea of everything is okay. And that is really the only reason for everything, which is sort of this idea that there's direction, but you have to figure that out on yourself. And the more that that's true for everything, the more that everything has to accept what is true. And I kind of wrote a few things in my new journal that I've got. But here's something. From this book that, sort of has that idea that I'm talking about. Let me be thunder and lightning, unpredictable, reckless, with a voice that echoes across the darkened sky. You watched me from a distance, knowing that I was made to disappear. I said goodbye, hoping I'd be back soon. I really didn't read that much today, but you told me that you dream in color, that it was like you could wrap your arms around them and forget what you left behind. I know we live in different worlds, but I promise you do not need to look very hard to find me. Maybe I'll remind you of all the reasons you want to stay. A star in your sky. Here's my journal, and here's what I wrote today. And there was this giant hornet that landed next to me, and it was here for only a moment. So obviously I couldn't get a picture of it, but I was like, you know what the funny thing is a lot of times people think that cameras are intrusive and stuff like that, but you can commit things to memory. And the funny thing is that as soon as you put something into a drawing, it's much more of a belief if people believe you or not, but I mean, it's that whole idea of acceptance again, where the more that it's true for everyone and you have to figure it out yourself, it's the more that everybody has to accept it. And so I think that drawing something rather than taking a picture of it is a much more expressive way of doing what I just said, because I think that it sort of connects all those points as to what I was talking about. And then I just wrote around it, but it was such a gnarly bug. It was like definitely a bug that you look at and you think like, yikes, like that thing could cause some damage or just house something even scarier, you know what I mean? Like a bug full of bugs of some kind that could just be injected into something else and just make you accept some of the grossest natures of reality, you know, like nature is really that gross kind of thing. Like you better just accept it, you know. Maybe that's all fear is that whole idea of accepting things. And I think it's because the more that we accept, the more that we have to accept other realities. And this is sort of my expression of that. So 8/18/2025. If I was really alone, I don't think it would be a problem. The problem is, though, that I am not. So I can never really be myself, truly. Maybe it is even more than that. Maybe it is that I am not even a whole thing. I can be divided or always said to be a part of something else, which again means I can never really just be me. The idea of building a giant complex of homes in the savannah, being chased by lions as I drive between sites makes me feel like I can never go fast enough. Maybe a projection that my dreams were telling me that no matter how close to the truth I am, even by means of the square, there's always something that moves you. Can I own my own motion then? Or is this all a film and the director takes the chair as soon as we feel a sense of order, making the experience another experience for something seeing only my experience, making the idea of seriousness a matter of only how far I am from the director, so that when I get a sense of direction, the order is so great that everything fights for order. To even think of such a thing that makes everyone feel as alone as order to that extent does, trying to find what they are and what they are supposed to do, that everything questions everything, making the idea of life having a serious nature, one of chance and God. And so in that way, it's sort of that everything is light at the same time that it's something that is real, because this idea of things being in observation of things being in observation of things being in observation makes it so that it almost is like it's fake, because nothing is really going to be experiencing truly what you're going through. So for something else, it might as well all be a show. I mean, these things that a lot of scientists and like theoretical physicists and stuff try to say today, it's funny because I almost feel like, you know what, you can say a lot of this stuff in like an English way, but it almost just sounds better. It's just like not being original or something like that. It's like people who couldn't really even believe in themselves as being able to like have an aspect of the truth, so that when they express it their own way, it still expresses the nature of things. It's just sort of just like a false kind of pretense almost, you know what I mean? Like somebody who needs everybody else to recognize something. But when you put it like I do, it's almost like, you know what, you can read these books and it's a lot of really neat stuff and a lot of literature and in script and storytelling. And I think that it can make the world a little bit more magical, kind of the more connected that we are. So that's sort of my opinion on that. You're free to have whatever opinion you want. About anything I've said. Oh, that's kind of cool. Peeling this, and things actually went through the groove. It's like a rotten apple. It's all green. But for some reason in that moment it was like peeling an apple. Green apple, baby. Poison apple. No, my plan wasn't to look as patriotic as I could today. It's just like, why was everybody talking to me about China yesterday? It's like I saw Chinese people in the most random place. Maybe it's all chance, or maybe it's God. Check those things out. Small enough knife is practically the everything knife. Kind of peaceful though, right? Tastes like if I could eat wood. When an avocado tastes like leaves or something. Like I can straight up eat leaves off the tree. It's like all fat. And there's the wind saying hello. There's many winds here though. Snacking in the woods. Let me tell you what, when freedom's on the air, freedom's on the wind, everything's also free to fight. And if you're not willing to fight in the land of freedom, because that's how I take everything, is just not trying to be reliant on anything. You got to be competitive with everything. You got to be able to turn the war around. You got to be able to make it a war for everything, everyone. You got to be able to say that whatever anything else is susceptible to is what you're also susceptible to. Otherwise, you're likely to lose at some point. But if everyone loses eventually, then realistically, it's like you never lose. That's just life. So better not to get up and get caught up in anyone else's problems. Better not to underestimate the other side from what one side is telling you, and just accept everything is dangerous. Treat everything as if it was dangerous. Because in the end, everything is strong and everything's basically essential. Better to believe in ideals and deal with realities rather than believe in realities and deal with ideals. And then maybe you can find out what you really are. Get as close as you can to the truth. And then maybe you might actually have something really worth fighting for. The system is still here. No matter whether you're far or near. It's just a matter of recognizing it. Just like recognizing yourself. Sometimes it's hard to. Alright guys, later. P.S. I could swear those things only fly over me. Maybe it's just chance, or maybe it's God.